Hey, Wellspring Tech team. I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, we are off to such an amazing 2025 so far. Um, Seriously, we've had two services and a revival night service, and all three have just gone super, super well in terms of production. And so, one, I'm really proud of you guys. I think that we have upped our game. Um, even in the last 6 months. And so, seriously, you guys are doing amazing and could not be happier to be leading this team um, with a group of people that are just doing so well and are serving God and using their talents and all of that. So, thank you guys. Seriously, thank you so, so much. That said, of course, there are things that we can improve on. And so I have some things from yesterday, the 12th, that we definitely uh, can and should improve on. And so let's just dive into that and we'll talk a little bit about some of those things. So, one thing that I did see that was a big issue for me is seeing a lot of shots that were being adjusted. Post going live. So, and let me clarify what I mean by this, because obviously there's certain shots that are um, canning shots or push-ins or pull-outs and things like that, and those are all wonderful. They're designed to be moving. They're designed to be adjusted on the fly while we're going, all that kind of stuff. That's great. I don't have issues with those kind of shots. I actually love and encourage those shots. For the most part, we can be doing more movement, so take that, do that. More movement is wonderful. But for shots that are not designed to be moving, so static shots of a lead vocalist or a singer or a band member or whatever that might be, I've seen a lot of switching or adjusting the shot after it's live. So the shot will go live and then we will tilt up or we'll tilt down or we'll um, zoom in slightly or zoom out slightly. And it looks like basically what's happened is we've switched to the shot too early. And so this is on both video directors and camera operators. Um, we need to work together as a team, obviously. So, video directors, please do your best to make sure that a shot is framed up, ready to go before you take it. And then camera ops, if you notice your shot is live, I would much rather have the shot be um, slightly less than ideal. Obviously, if there's a major issue, something out of focus or somebody not in frame at all, that's different. Um, but I would much rather have the shot just be what it is and not be adjusted while it's live. That jerking motion of like, if I'm sitting here doing this and I just kind of adjust my camera a little bit, it just doesn't feel professional. It doesn't feel great. I'd rather have the shot be slightly off and we switch off your camera um, for you to fix that shot before we're doing it while live. So just keep that in mind. Something I would love to have us avoid in the future. Um, Kind of in line with that is love the energy we had yesterday in terms of frequency of shots. It was great. Um, Seriously, like guys, go back, watch service from yesterday, video directors, learn from it. Um, I want shots switching during worship as often as they were yesterday. Sean, you did an amazing job with that. Um, but with that in mind, again, with what I was just saying, is if we need to slow down to make sure that our shots are ready, um, then let's slow down. It's okay. I want lots of movement. I want lots of camera switching, but I would rather the shots be ready. So it's okay if it's a little bit slower. Let's just make sure that they look good before we're doing it. Let's not have uh, the roaming camera still setting up for his shot, kind of moving into position as it goes live. Let's make sure that we're not accidentally switching to different cameras unintentionally. I saw a little bit of that in the last couple weeks as well. And so, yeah, guys, we're doing a great job, but just a couple things to focus on there. Um, I want to talk about our comms. So The role of our service producer is evolving, and so I'm adding new responsibilities and new things that I want to be a regular part of that process. And one of those things that we're doing is a pre-service roll call, basically, of just double checking that everyone's in position. And we kind of do this already, but just making this a regular, consistent part of our services. And so, one with comms, make sure that you can hear the producer at all times. So production team is on channel B. Make sure that you can hear the producer. Um, every single person on the team needs to be able to hear them. There may be a situation where the producer needs to talk to camera two specifically, directly. You never know. And so just make sure that you can hear, make sure that your comms are up. If you need a refresh on how to use your comms unit, your belt pack, please. Just check with another team member, see if they can help you. Check with me, check with whoever's producing that day, make sure that you can hear us. Yeah. And the other part of roll call is that your response, like your verbal response, is basically a requirement of that. So if I'm checking in and I say, "Hey CG, are you back there? Hey video director, are you back there?" And I don't hear from you, like audibly hear from you, I don't know that you're back there. Um, so just don't be afraid to use the headset to actually communicate back with us. Um, we are a part of a team, and so let's just make sure that we're communicating as effectively and efficiently as we can. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to speak up and say things on the comms as well. Even if it's a soft moment and there's not a lot happening, let's have fun. Let's be jokey. Like we're allowed to do that. Um, obviously, if you're in the auditorium, let's make sure we're not talking too loudly. We don't want to be a distraction, especially during the message. But we can have a good time, but let's just make sure that we're using comms, that we're listening to what's happening, that we're following cues, um, and all of that. So, um, I'm just looking at my notes here. In regards to front of house audio, let's make sure that when we are ending a service, that we're transitioning the music up uh, quickly. We're not waiting for the band to finish playing. Um, basically when whoever is closing service closes service, we want there to immediately be in a transition into high energetic music. It can be kind of loud, and then we can kind of pull it back if we need to. You're more than welcome to cut off the band, just play the music over them and pull them out. We just want to avoid that kind of dead awkward moment when service ends and it's just like dead quiet for like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 seconds or whatever. So just a note for front of house to pay attention to that. And then during the message, we can slow down a little bit. It's okay. We can slow down a little bit. We don't need to be switching shots as often. Um, CG needs to be paying attention. Obviously, video director needs to be paying attention. Obviously, um, we need to make sure that the speaker is not walking out of frame. Um, but we can slow down. We don't have to be switching shots as often as we are during worship. It's okay if we're using the same shot for a couple of minutes if the speaker has not moved. It's totally fine. If they're standing at the podium, Pastor Joey's at the podium by the TV, he hasn't moved in a bit. It's okay if we don't necessarily change the camera angle. We're allowed to slow down during those message moments as well. It makes it hard when there's a lot of camera switches to for somebody to watch when they go back and watch it online on YouTube or whatever later during the week. So something to keep in mind. Um, okay, I do have a couple of actual things I do want to show you through service review. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and switch this angle here. Okay, so first service. Um, I just want to watch this intro real quick. And so the thing that I want to point out, and I will go to second service and look at the difference. Um, but if you just be aware, so what's in the top right of the screen, this ME1, this program output, our video directors know this, is what's going to the live stream directly. It's also on the side screens in the auditorium, but is what's going online. Let's just watch and listen to this transition for a second.
Good morning, Wellspring. Come on, would you stand to your feet? How you guys doing today? Come on, let's get our hands together. Come on. All the light and the truth, all depression must end. All the
So, a couple things happening here. Um, the big thing, obviously, is that we did not switch backgrounds to the worship background in that transition quickly enough. So, what happens is that we are several seconds, so it's at least 9 seconds where whoever's watching online is just staring at the screen that says service starts in 0 minutes and 0 seconds. And they're hearing Tara singing, they're hearing the band, but they can't see what's going on. So with CG, let's make sure that those transitions happen quickly, that we're not lagging behind, um, because it does affect the view of people online. The other thing that's happening is, as you may have noticed, is Tara doesn't remember the words to the song because the confidence monitor is not set up right. So when we don't switch to the background, so if you look here in the bottom, you'll see this one that's labeled confidence, and she's singing. Usually they can see the lyric that is next on the slide, but they can't see it at this point because we haven't switched that background yet. So she's singing the wrong
must
lyric.
end.
And once we get it up, you'll see. Let me move this a little bit so you can see it better. You can see here that she can see the current lyric and the next lyric. And so I know we're aware of this, but let's just make sure that our transitions are good, especially at the beginning of songs, because we don't want to be the reason that the lead vocalist ends up singing the wrong lyric or we just start off super awkward um, because they don't know what's happening. Um, So just something to be aware of. We did it great during second service. So if I pull up second service, let's watch this transition. It is so much better. Um, yeah,
Good morning, Wellspring. Come on, would you stand to your feet? So good to see your faces this morning. Come on,
that
would
was
you get your
perfect.
hands
I mean,
together?
honestly,
See the
the
light.
transition into starting service with Tara, just like that push on her, the camera coming in, pushing in on her as we transition out of the countdown into the song was great. It was exactly what it should have been. So. Aim to do what we did second service yesterday, and we'll be golden. It was as good as I could ask for that transition moment. Um, the other thing that I'm going to say, let's talk a little bit about just knowing the song. So right above it all, we're going into the chorus. Um, And it's you reign above it all, you reign above it all, over the universe and over every heart. So that's the chorus. Um, so that we're just coming out of a different part of the song, going into the chorus. Um, but if you listen to the way that it's being sung, you'll notice that they're not actually singing the chorus. It's the same words. They're singing you reign above it all, but it's not the chorus. And so if you know the songs, especially as CG operators, if we listen to the songs ahead of time, um, this gives us a better understanding of where we are in the song. I would, in this part that we're about to go listen to, I would much rather have there be no lyrics on the screen, um, because it is not actually the part of the song that we're singing. Let me just play it so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about.
No higher name, Jesus, you reign above it all. You reign above it all. You reign above it all.
So I would consider this, in my terminology, to be a flow moment. Um, we're still singing the words of the song. They're still singing "You Reign Above It All," but we're not actually in the chorus. We're not singing the melody of the chorus. And so, in these moments, it is perfectly okay to have no lyrics on screen. Um, Especially when we get to the end of this and we put the next lyric up because we think, oh, they've sang "You Reign Above It All" twice. Next lyric needs to go up because they're going to sing that next, but they're not actually in that part of the song. And so, what I want to emphasize here is just the importance of knowing the songs, especially as CG operators. Um, Obviously it's our job, it's my job to make sure that our arrangements are correct, and sometimes we don't have blank slides in there for you to take the lyric off screen and just have nothing. um and so when that happens, that's my fault. But if you know the song, there are ways that you can kind of work around that. So let me show you in ProPresenter how you would do that. So we're in ProPresenter here. um let's just say we are in this song and they're singing "You Reign Above It All," and we're actually not in this part. Well, I don't have a blank slide. Um, there's not a blank slide I can click to clear the lyrics off the screen. So if you go to the right side of your screen and you look at these red buttons, these represent the different layers within ProPresenter. This one here with the lines of text is what it represents. If you hover over it, it says clear side. If I click that, it takes the slide off, but it leaves the background. So CG operators, that's a good thing to be aware of during worship if we need to clear slide, but you don't have a blank slide available for you to click on. You can clear the slide that way. You're allowed to do that. Go ahead, click it. Especially if we've got the wrong lyric up or we click the lyric too early or something like that. I'd rather us just take it off the screen again and we'll correct ourselves when we get back into that moment. So there you have it, guys. I know there was a lot of stuff, especially at the end, that felt like I was kind of I don't know, maybe it felt mean. I don't know. It's not intended to be. Um, I just want to reiterate the purpose of these service reviews is to help us as a team do better and to do a better job. Um, I know that I'm here 40 hours a week, 40 plus hours a week. Um, I get to work with the equipment, I get to work with the software all the time. I know you guys are volunteers. Um, and for the most part, honestly, I'm serious, we do an amazing job. I'm really, really happy to be serving with all of you. And I know you don't have the time um, to dedicate, especially when you serve once a month, uh, to remember the little intricacies. And so that's why we do these, just so you can kind of get regular refreshers of the things that we can improve on, the things that we can change, the things that we can do better on. Um, it's all said out of a place of love because we want to do better from a production standpoint for the purpose. Let me just be really clear about this. We want to do better production wise for the purpose of minimizing distractions to help people experience the presence of God without getting distracted. For most people, if there are things happening in the room like lyrics being wrong or lights going crazy or someone's mic feeding back or being way too loud or way too quiet, um, all of these things are distractions. And most people can't block that stuff out. So when you're worshiping and these things start to happen, it pulls you out of the presence of God. It brings you back into remembering that you're just in a that you're in a room with other people and there's things happening, and it helps, or it takes people's focus off of God. It pulls them out of that worship experience. So that's why we want to do better. It's not because we need to be perfect. It's not because we're trying to put on a show. It's to help people experience God better. That's that's all it's for. That's all it will ever be for. So thank you guys for serving. Um, Thank you for dedicating the time that you dedicate. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Seriously, I love serving with all of you. You guys are an amazing team, genuinely. If there's something that we can do to help you, I'm not just talking about being better, although that is one thing about if you want to be better, we'll train you. But if there's something that you guys need, we want to be a family for you guys. So let us know. Please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Pastor Ryan or PJ or anybody at Wellspring if you need something. We want to be here for you guys. So um, yeah, I'll see you guys at Revival Night on Wednesday. Hopefully next Sunday as well. And until then, just take care, guys. We love you.